Known as the Killer Clown, John Wayne Gacy was responsible for assaulting and murdering at least 33 boys and young men. The serial killer and sex offender performed regularly as a clown at children's hospitals and charity events in Cook County, a metropolitan area of Chicago, earning him the sinister moniker. At the time, his conviction for 33 murders in one trial was the most for any one person in U.S. John Wayne Gacy's house has since been torn down and replaced with a new residence, built on the same land where Gacy reportedly buried many of his victims. The home, located at 8215 West Summerdale Avenue, was sold for just shy of $400,000 in May 2021. On November 13, 1974, Ronald DeFeo murdered his mother, father, two brothers and two sisters with a high-powered rifle in their Long Island home. 2 years later, George and Kathleen Lutz, the new owners of the house, began spreading a story that ghosts and evil spirits had scared them out of the house that they had just purchased. A book based on their apparent hoax became a #1 bestseller, and the subsequent film was a box office smash. Despite that, it's now widely accepted that the Lutzes completely fabricated their horror story. The home located at 112 Ocean Avenue remains a popular tourist attraction, even though it no longer features the iconic quarter moon windows. On January 15, 1947, the horribly mutilated body of the Black Dahlia, aka aspiring 22-year-old actress Elizabeth Short, was found cut in half in a Los Angeles area open field. Still unsolved to this day, her slaying remains one of the most infamous murder cases in the history of Hollywood. Today, the once undeveloped area known as Leimert Park is a residential neighborhood located approximately 2 blocks east of the Crenshaw Plaza Mall in Baldwin Hills. The body was found near the current address of 3925 South Norton Avenue. On February 28, 1993, a team of federal agents launched an assault on the premises of a religious community called Mount Carmel, outside Waco, Texas. The community was occupied by a sect called the Branch Davidians, who were led by a man named David Koresh. The raid resulted in a shootout in which 4 federal agents and 6 Davidians were killed. This was followed by a 51-day standoff which ended in an assault on the premises on April 19, 1993. A fire broke out and 76 of the occupants died, including many women and children. The location of the former compound is located in Waco on Double E Ranch Road, but is not accessible to the public. In the dense rainforest of Guyana, Jim Jones built a compound where he and his followers were meant to live in utopian harmony, the People's Temple. There were several huts for sleeping, teaching, working, and Jones' own sermons. On November 18, 1978, Jones led 909 of those cult members to death by cyanide poisoning. Jones encouraged his followers to take the cyanide as an act of protest, a way to go down in history. On August 9, 1969, fanatical members connected to a psychopathic loner named Charles Manson murdered actress Sharon Tate and several of her house guests at her Los Angeles mansion. One of the most infamous murders in United States history, the crime spree, which would continue days after these murders, was immortalized in the best-selling book, Helter Skelter. Today, Tate's home at 10,048 Cello Doctor has been all but completely rebuilt and is a private residence, not visible from the street. On April 20, 1999, 2 high school students named Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold walked into Columbine High School and began firing from a multi-gun arsenal. They also distributed homemade bombs throughout the school. In all, they killed 12 students and 1 teacher, as well as injured 23 others, before dying via suicide. In 2019, Superintendent of Jeffco Public Schools Jason Glass asked his district to consider tearing down the school and rebuilding it in an act of reverence towards victims. However, the school, which is located at 6201 South Pierce TD in Littleton, Colorado, is still in operation to this day. On July 1, 1981, 4 people were bludgeoned to death in a split-level home on Wonderland Avenue, a cramped street in the heavily wooded section of Hollywood called Laurel Canyon. It has been widely speculated that the murders were a hit ordered by the underworld figure Eddie Nash. Adult film star John Holmes was present during the murders and was actually forced to watch the crimes as they took place. Supposedly, this was because he owed Nash money, and Nash's form of punishment was making Holmes watch, even though there were 3 trials running over 10 years. No one was ever convicted of the crimes. The home today at 8764 Wonderland Avenue remains essentially unchanged from 40 years ago. On October 12, 1978, Nancy Spungen was found murdered in a New York City hotel room, the victim of stab wounds in her abdomen. Former Sex Pistols bassist Sid Vicious was charged with her death, and after being bailed out in February 1979, died from a heroin overdose. The Hotel Chelsea is still located at 222 West 23rd. Spungen's murder took place in room 100. Renovations are currently underway to reopen the hotel, which has been closed for a number of years. John Lennon was killed by Mark David Chapman on December 8, 1980, as he returned to his New York apartment from a recording session at almost p.m. that night. Lennon's limo pulled up outside the building when Chapman pulled a snub-nosed .38 revolver from his pocket and fired 5 shots, 4 of which struck the music legend. Today, it's possible to stand near the exact site where the fatal shot struck Lennon, just outside the Dakota apartments at 1 West 72nd TD.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share this video.